You ready? What? I don't know. I was just. You look nervous. Yeah, I'm fine. What happened to you? What do you mean? You were all haha hot and stuff. Cocky. I mean, given you still act like it, but I can hear your heartbeat. That's not really the same. It's never really been the way you act. I feel like, I mean, like behind the way you acted, that way I heard it. You don't, your heartbeat and like the actual way you are. I feel like we both know the answer of why that is. You've been playing your character this entire time, while on the inside, the real you has been hiding there. Yeah, it's hard to open up. Um, it's very hard to open up, especially when over the past, oh God, uh, 8 years, 7 years of my life, I've been playing it off as that. As the dubbed, that's at least the way I've caught it. The hothead hottie character. First, that's a dumb name. But why did you think it was a good idea to hold like a character? Because being bullied throughout my earlier years of life in school, and just in and out of school, just thought, oh, so I gotta be cool to fit in. So that's what I did. I already wanted to be a hero. It goes to me wanting to be a hero, and then looking at the top heroes of that year and realizing that, oh, there are like these very confident people that are like Endeavor, for a example. He's confident on the way he walks. You can tell. It's the psychology of it all. You can tell by the way he walks, the way he holds himself, that he's confident. And then he's cocky, so it's strength. But then you look at All Might, so way different. He holds himself that way too, at least from what I've seen, to become a pillar. People that someone to lean on for when you need help. That's the way All Might is. And then looking around, look the people around me that are like the popular kids, either being sons of heroes or well, children of heroes or whoever. Um, it made me change, develop this character, and then kind of resent my real self and play up this character for years and years, and it eventually just turned on me for a long time. Still, to this day, it turned on me that the character would hate the real me because he's weak mentally, and he doesn't really want to be here. What do you mean? UA or no? I want to be in UA. It's just the whole entire living that I don't want to be. It's like how celebrities have to play their like self for like their fans and be all happy and like, be the character that they are, but they're the complete opposite. That's the way I am. I'm sorry for dumping that on you. Probably messed up your entire flow. So I'm gonna shut up and get paid. Hey, it's fine. People need someone that listens. And I'm doing that. I'll be the one that listens. Okay? So whenever you need help and you feel down in the dumps, you can always call me. Okay? After this, I'll put my number in your phone. Okay? And then you'll be you'll have someone that actually listens. I know that a lot of people just start off like speaking over dramatic. They're too sensitive and a lot of people do. You're not alone. Okay? You're not alone. You're a person too. And now get I'm saying that a lot of people outside of the like actual business of being a hero will say, oh, they're immortal beings, they don't feel hurt and stuff like that, but don't worry, you're human too. Look at that. You hear me? Yeah, I did. Thank you. No problem. All of us are beautiful. Okay? You're not alone. I do it for myself. I give myself so much stress and anxiety that I'm never gonna make it in either field I wanna be in. So you'll be fine. You okay? You'll be fine. Goodbye. You too. Hello, it is me, Mr. I'm here to bring you a free. What if Deku had a quiet quirk? Now, I'm sorry for that, like, somber note at the beginning, but I want to explain that right now, okay? I wanted to put that out there because I wanted you all to get to feel, not really feel, but know more about how this is who is. He's putting up this character, this wall of sorts, to this mask, this character, as you all know. You all probably know. Heck, I even do. Okay. Depression has been a big deal in my life. And stress and anxiety is just the way I am. Okay. I also want to put that in there to, well, tell you. I know a lot of people will say, oh, I'm fine. Not, no, we all sad. I don't know where this came from, honestly. It just came from the fact that I'm dealing with it in my day-to-day life and thought it would be a good thing to put out there. That was Jiro, by the way, that he was talking to in this story. They did go to school together from middle school to high school, is the way and how like long Jiro has known Izuku in that length of time, right? Up until university, where they both got into US. Two different stories. One's just filled with more trauma, and one's filled with more stress about their future, right? I know a lot of us have our own issues, so yeah. I just really want to put that in there to send that message out. Okay. See, I'm one of the unlucky people that don't have someone to listen, like who actually listens to them. That's why I put these videos out, to put my stories, to put my mind to work, and put stories out that make people happy, have the real life tone of it all, instead of the superhero anime that we all know about. Not, yeah, superhero. That seems all fictional, but either way, I wanted to put the real life tone of it all out there. Um, and plus, I've hinted it in the past two, um, past previous videos that he is dealing with like things, right? It is very clear in the last episode that he's doing something he definitely shouldn't be doing. Okay, that's that's how some people just get it over with, not over, but deal with it, right? Putting their mind to focus on something else instead of their own feelings. Now, given I don't personally do that, I want to specify that now. I know people that do, and it's terrible. Okay, we all know how depression works. It's not a fun thing. I wish this video landed it within men's mental like illness month, which was last month. But partly of that, and well, just me, the day-to-day life depression, made me put that first part into that video. Not just for the men out there dealing with it, or boys of male figures. To anybody that listens or deals with it, that watches my videos, I truly thank you all. Okay. Enough of that fumbling noise. Yeah. Welcome to the next part. Today is the sports festival part. Very happy. Very happy. Round of applause. Golf clap. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. You all probably know the drill. You already know who I am by this point, hopefully. Anyways, I post 3 times a week. If you don't know, whoever would have, whoever different sources of media I do them off of. Every Monday is a Naruto what if. Every Friday is a sorry, I'm about to hiccup. A Friday. Well, Friday is JJK Jujutsu Kaisen what if, and here on Wednesday it is a My Hero what if. I always feel safer to do the real life tones on anime, on mostly My Hero stuff. Um, the more of a real life tone or a somber tone to it, because I feel like it's way easier to do it with. Now, given like Naruto is also very easy to put like the sad tones on with a passing of character or something akin to that. Very devastating stuff can easily happen in a Naruto series, like a loss of a limb or something. I've done it in multiple different series. Like my first Demon Slayer what it Control passes it. Sorry for the spoiler if you plan on watching. On the final episode, he does like self-sacrifice in the final fight, and like runs it balls to the walls and like bing bada boom. Sorry for the spoiler, but if you ever thought of watching it. I feel like I need to add that. Either way, since we're on topic. I do impressions, kind of. Put my voice to more match the character. Background noise is probably apparent, like birds and wind and whatnot, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't use scripts in my videos, so all this stuff is just off the top of the head. Please do the YouTube things. I'd greatly appreciate it. Like subscribing, liking, commenting, whatever it may be. Okay, I'd greatly appreciate it either way. And without further ado, let me get a drink of water. And I think you should too. Um, please get it. Get a drink of some kind. Okay. Uh, Anything truly helps in the long run. Okay. Anyways, let me get a drink of water. And we can actually get into it. Already 15 minutes in, or maybe 14, 17. Cool. Okay. Okay. After the first part happened, where Jiro and Izuku's interaction happened, which they were off in a corner by that point when that all went down. So no one really saw them. No one really was talking to them, and they were like whispering with talking. Okay, point. They were semi whispering, like a softer tone in voice, right? Izuku would warm up, just stretches and things akin to that, as they would be called out. And introducing the last class that will be participating within this event, our final hero class, the one that survived a onslaught by villains. It is Class 1A. And on a special note, I'm here with their teacher, their homeroom teacher, uh, the Erasure hero, Eraserhead. Yes, sir. You stink! Multiple cheers or boos would be echoed throughout the arena. As Aizawa would say, well, as President Mike would say, you got any words for your students, Aizawa? Try your best. All right. Quick to the point. Anyway, we'll send it down to our, I don't, there's a commentator, so this will be the announcer. Okay, in like wrestling terms. Well, so bring it down to our in-arena announcer, the rated R hero, Midnight. A lot of cheers would echo throughout the arena once again for this hero. I say why. Either way. Hello, hello, boys, girls. And then she would go on to bring up the best student within Class 1A and within like the rest of the hero classes, mind you, which would be, drum roll please, very much Bakugo. He has the best grades. Now, given there are some stuff he's lacking in, but either way, he would be the best student out of academic and heroes like terms. So he's up there doing his same self. I'm gonna win. Right. Wait a second. Why isn't Midoriya up there? Isn't he the... My grades are worse than his in some spots that I haven't really took care of. Like B's or B minus. Uh, yeah. He has better grades. Oh, being humble with it, huh? What is that supposed to mean? You'll understand when you get older. Aren't I older than you? Aren't you 17? How about we don't talk about that? That's my question. I'm older than you. Listen, I was born in the winter times, I think. I don't remember. Well, at least the guy doesn't know that I'm, like, speaking as me doesn't know. What are you talking about, Kaminari? I don't know. I'm not surprised. Wasn't it 3, 4, 4 years? Wait, no, I was like, what? Oh god, time flies! What was that laugh? Sorry, uh, allergies are still bad. Pollen is in the air, alongside very warm conditions, so it doesn't help. Anyway, after Bakugo would do his speech, the first thing would come by, which would once again be the obstacle race. Right, the obstacle course race. Just a little different. There would be 3 lanes instead of one single lane. Like, they could choose out of the 3, like, lanes, whichever one they would want to go to. There would be 3 different, like, choices, okay, out of one tunnel. That would be separated by buildings. So they could technically switch. It would just be difficult to do so. Anyways, on the next pop-up. One good time. Anyway, I also did spend like 10 minutes on the intro, so that makes sense. Anyway, they would get into the tunnel, get ready. Shoto would freeze everyone, including Izuku at this time, instead of him dodging out of the way. He would freeze the ground, and he, upon taking first place, and then Bakugo would then get up behind him, among many others, would jump in front. But where Izuku is, which is a little bit above middle, like middle of the pack, a little bit above that, he would say, maximum effort. And the guy beside him would go like, what? And then he would just continue to see Izuku just light his entire body aflame. Ice would melt all around him. And then it would finally get off. And Izuku would just leap up and with his flames just boom. Now, given that would just be a short burst of like he would get out of the tunnel with the launching of that like flame, right? And then continue like continue what the beep? What did I just say? I'm not entirely sure myself. But anyway, he would blast forward, just boom. He would land, and then he would say, "I can only do this twice a day, but this might as well be my first. I'll be catching up in a matter of seconds." Now, he would be yelling this. Everybody watch me burn away the competition. As he would say that, you could tell things would start to visibly just start to smoke. Just smoke would start to billow off of him as his entire body would start to glow with heat. The people behind him would back away because it would be like a force field of heat. Not really a force field, but a layer of heat that once they would get in, it would just immediately like just sweat would start to pour for everyone. It's kind of like that scene in Fairy Tail when Natsu returns after the 1 year like training that he did. Like after that, when he would return at that year's Grand Magic Games, and he would fight that team when the concrete would start to melt. But at this point, it wouldn't start to melt. Okay, things would just start to heat up. The ground underneath him would even start to catch a flame. And then finally, he would say, "Wild breathing fire. Maximum effort." I did say it. Um, he would be entirely engulfed in flames that he could physically hold himself at. It would be like inside his body and then engulfing out of it. Like everything on his body is just being pumped up by this heat, loosening every muscle up, unrestricting like his soreness from training. This move in particular would nearly start to reform, but then cool down. Well, not really cool down, just evaporate, but then come back. He could feel it. This would be causing his physical abilities to just go to the maximum. Not really maximum, like he could still get stronger, faster, whatever it may be, like with training, of course. But it would change him. Even though this is only for a certain amount of time, which could be seen on screen, okay, he would just be a flaming version of himself, just like a flaming entity. Not really like um the Human Torch though. It kind of more looks like Mary Alona's Hellfire incarnate spell. Okay, it looks more akin to that. How it kind of gives him animalistic like features, like a tail. But this is like a canine floofy tail, while his like it would be kind of ear like flame would be reaching up from his head, right? And where his like original like fur collar on his coat would be, it would kind of poof up there and kind of give him like a mane of sorts, but it's more of a fur collar coat, but kind of like a mane on a lion. But he has a more floofy tail like a dog. And after everyone would be looking at this, cameras on him, poof, just the burnt, like, just the burnt rubber from his shoes would be there as like footprints. And then he gone. Nobody would be able to see him. He basically turned into pure heat. Heat travels fast. Did not know. I'm not joking. I think that's like an entire thing. I think that's how like pew-pews work. Like after the initial like, it kind of heats up the entire like pow pow, and it goes off as fast as it can. That's how like pew-pews work. Oh, I'm not entirely sure that's how that works. Don't fact check me. Don't hold me to that. But either way, in a blink of an eye, he's gone. President Mike would be going wild like, what? He disappeared in a blink of an eye. What just happened? Eraser, could you give us any words? And even Aizawa would be shocked of this. Even if I knew, I'm not telling. So you don't know what that is? Not at all. Huh. First time I've ever seen it. At least for me. It's a new concept for me. That's wild. I get it because he called it wild breathing fire. We get it, Mike. That was weird. I started to hear Robbie Damon in my voice. We heard it, Mike. That doesn't sound the same. But I start to hear like Robbie Damon like voice. It start that freaks me out. um Within the next minute. It's been a minute since he's disappeared, and within the next minute, in a couple seconds, he'd be at the finish line. All the way through, like the actual finish line, right next to midnight. He would just start to just profusely sweat as he would arrive there. He would start to, like, as the flames would start to disperse, you could tell, like, you could probably like hear his heartbeat going. Like midnight would like probably be able to hear this and rush up to him and put her hand on her, like, on his chest, like as he's standing there, heavy breathing, like profusely sweating, and just kind of shaking. That's kind of what he'd be doing. Um, she would probably say in her headset, "Medical?" Izuka would look at her and like shake his head. He couldn't really speak it, but he would just kind of like initiate to like, just no need, just give it time. And then even her hand would start to like burn up, like as just feeling his like his entire like upper half of his clothing, besides a little part of the sleeves that are connected just by this thin layer of the like track suit coat, would be gone. And most of his pants are gone. His shoes are just, the rubber on his shoes is gone. The actual fabric part of the shoe, like his entire shoe is basically gone. And like even though there would be no physical like harm to his own body, except for like just redness and just maybe some blistering from just previously using this technique, like training it, and there would be a slight smell of cooking, um, like smoke. Are you sure? He would just nod through this heavy breathing. But your heart is beating faster than ever. Like anyone. Are you sure? He would just keep on nodding, like he's fine. Put his hands out, like I'm good. Eventually, the steam off of him would cool down, almost stop. The smoke would finally leave. The smell of cooking would still be around, um, right? But besides that, his heart's still going a little bit faster than it should be. He would finally calm down as he would sit down, start breathing in a more controlled, calm way. He'd be perfectly fine. Except for being quite exhausted and still being quite hot to the touch. Like, he basically gave himself a fever. Like, he's over 100 degrees. I don't know how that transfers to anybody that uses like the other metric system. Not metric. I don't know how that transfers over to Celsius. I don't know. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm very sorry. If you know though, put them down below. I want to know. It would be pretty much over close to like 130 degrees. Like bro was slow cooking type deal. But either way, he'd kind of just be sitting there as other people would go ahead and like pass like into the next round. He'd just be sitting there, just breathing heavy with Midnight there, like hand on his shoulder, like making sure he's okay. Just like hand on chest, making sure his like heartbeat is good. Nothing like he's gonna keel over. But he's kind of at first he was like when he was first training there. He did have other classmates there, either with buckets of water, well not really buckets, but he had a other like cement toss to where like oh yeah if he needed to he could like ectoplasma would also be there. People to where like oh yeah we could cool him down like easy. I don't know how cement toss would do so, but he probably would find out a way. Cement toss is goaded type like that. It's kind of goaded like that, to be honest with you. But not really classmates to the degree of like there would be very few other classmates. Um, he would know Monoma, so he would ask him like, "Hey, could you help me, please?" And it's like out of like a old time sake. I helped you with your quirk. You have my quirk copied. Like he would let him copy his quirk. Um, right for this like test for this sports festival, right? He would let him do it. So like, yeah, okay, I'll help you with it. He would copy some type of water quirk or ice, probably Shoto's. And that was the first time like he thought like, oh, I'm going into some type of bad thing, like, oh crap, and then he got cooled down. He'd give it a minute. He would be back to normal. And then he would try it again. And it was the same thing. It's like how you overheat yourself and you have a lot of adrenaline rush because you think you're dying. Or over caffeinated where you have like are nearing to an energy crash. Kind of like that. Like you have so much pent up energy. Not really pent up, but just so much energy to the fact that, like, yeah, this kind of happens. Like, your heart just going, just overly heart beating. I don't, you didn't need to know that. I just said it. Sanity. Water. Um, either way, as you would sit there, cooling down, everything would go back to normal. Midnight would say, "You cannot do that again." I can use it one more time. I know that that time I will start to get but it's okay. But only for special emergencies, or if I really want to win. He would stand up, the shaking, like his nerves would finally calm down from the like adrenaline and the like energy crash. I'm gonna go find something to eat. Okay. He would Midnight would look up at the like the commentator box where Present Mike and Aizawa was at, and just stare like at Aizawa, like dead into his eyes. I even know from this far away he knew, like, oh, I'm gonna get talking to. Okay, cool. That's nice. That's wonderful. Like, it was like a clear sign. You gotta talk to your student. Bro is being more reckless than you when you were younger. When you like you would not, it'd kind of be like that reckless thing that Aizawa did in this new season of Vigilantes, or the newest season of Vigilantes. My Hero Vigilantes, like when he lost after he lost Shirokumo. Shirokumo, that's how you say his name. It would kind of be like that factor, like that type of same thing. Like, bro is over amping his quirk to do this, to basically cause super speed. Like, like dog. He had an entire wave, entire barrier of heat around him. What? WTF? It'd kind of be like that. Is like how she would be staring. Besides that, the next one would be the cavalry battle. Uh, Instead of Uraraka, that's how you say it, name. It would be Jiro who would team with him, um, Tokoyami and Mei Hatsume. Yeah, that's how the entire thing would go. They would make it in. I'm sorry, I'm not going into depth with it, into depth. Running. Like, speech impediment, everyone, with a lisp and don't know how to say words. Yay! Got a speech impediment. Like it's not really a lisp. Uh, but it is very hard to like fully pronounce some words like math. Like I have to visibly try to like say it instead of like saying it quick. Like math. It sound I have a lisp, I realized. Only with certain words though. Math? Oh god. It sounds like I'm saying something else sometimes. That's why I repronounced it the first time. Anyways, as they would go on through the cavalry battle and now into the one-on-one battles, Izuku would get a tip from Ojiro about Shinso's quirk, right? And yeah, just kind of that like tip off, like, hey, that's how it works. Stay safe. Hope you win. That type of deal. My neck hurts. It could also be where I've been playing. Just my head down playing Pokemon. That's most likely the reason why I have my neck bent so bad when I play games on my Switch. Dog. Anyways, sorry for the rant. Um, anyways, things would continue onward. Um, Izuku's first match would come to, and before, like, when the match would begin, Izuku would point at Shinso and then to his mouth, zip it, and then, like, lock it, and then throw away the key. And Shinso would say, "Oh, so you know my trick. Good for you, hothead." We all know, just by the way you look, you're cocky, overconfident. Those type of words. Oh wow, you're so high and mighty with your strong quirk. Imagine being one of us with villainous quirks. Ever thought about that? Of course you have. You've been too gracefully bestowed with your almighty quirk, huh? Man, good job on you. And that was a neat trick earlier when you went full flame on. I heard you say something before you did that. Before you left the actual tunnel, you said maximum effort, huh? So you're going head on with your own class, even though there's people better than you in it. One even has your same exact quirk, and he uses it better than you do. After hearing this, Izuku, not, well, he would say it in his head. I'm the, you know who I am, or who I am. You can have this, my wild, explosive fireball. Yeah. Um, doing the full-on like baseball, like throw. Leg would one leg would go way up, like fully like 90-degree to himself, and then he would throw it. This relatively like human-sized fireball would be heading straight towards Shinso. He would still be running his mouth. He would look at this. He would dodge out of the way, and then he got hit by a smaller one because Izuku said, distraction time, as he would say, wild, perishing buckshot. Try to dodge these ones, tough guy. You're the overconfident one. You could say anything that I haven't said to myself before. And then, as he would say that to himself, he would throw the one fireball, one smaller one, that would spread off into multiple, then all of those would hit Shinso, and Shinso would be knocked out. Izuku would walk up to him and say, here's a little help. You can't get under people's skin with just baseless accusations, okay? And even that, everything you just said now, I've already said to myself. Some people have it worse than you, man. and way more areas than you'd ever understand. So, get off your high horse of how your quirk is apparently villainous, and stop caring what other people say. Don't run your mouth either. If you want to be a hero, learn how to fight. Learn how to be better. Not everything is insult, especially with your quirk. You do a lot more. Oh, things quirk tips. Like impressions. Think of that. Okay? Good luck. I hope to see you on the field. um, with Melissa being the in-world counterpart of like our like canon Izuku, um, she will be fighting a different person and then winning, and then they will be going against Shoto. Okay, and then that winner of that fight will fight Izuku because it is a like off-numbered amount of fights. So one person will have a fight to skip into and will already be in the like quarterfinals immediately. Not quarterfinals, but like the quarterfinals before, like not quarterfinals, but whatever one semifinals. No, that's only the two. Like the one before the actual one-on-one fight. But you get my point. Izuku would get to sit out the next round, like next round of fights, and he would go on to the third round immediately. And we can all guess who wins that. It would still be very much Shoto. Yep, it's Shoto. Yeah. I was gonna say Melissa, but then realizing that kind of be unfair. Not because, like, mostly because Melissa would be way better. Like, she'd probably get it earlier than he's like. She would have it like the quirk way longer than in canon like Izuku, so she would be better at it. She'd be stronger than canon Izuku if you really think about it. Um, to herself, she would say, "I wonder if Uncle's watching." Eh, it's my time to shine. She would win her first fight, and then onto the second fight, it'd be unclear. It would be Shoto, like I said. So Shoto and Izuku would be the ones fighting this time around. Well, not this time around, it's the same thing. Um, I feel like we can all expect how that fight goes. It's legit fire versus ice and fire, and one's very good at fire, and one's really good at ice. Um, I don't know because I'm semi running out of time as I think I have 6 minutes. Okay, I have options to skip over this fight and go into the finals, right? Or I have Izuku lose and I end the video now, which I really want to see Izuku use the loud breathing fire again. So, Izuku would go into this fight quite clear-headed, right? Just knowing of what Todoroki is capable of now and the lengths he is willing to go to, he would notice a lot of the attacks that Todoroki would use. Well, especially that final attack would be way different than he expected. He honestly thought, oh, he's gonna fight like his old man, Endeavor. No, he used pure ice. And then after Melissa would convince him to like, yeah, fight me for real, is the only time when he would use his fire, which was strange. Oh well. thinking of strategies is not Izuku's like best suit. I mean, given like he does it a lot, but it takes time to like map out like these possibilities. So he would just kind of shrug it off and just walk out into the arena. All right, introducing first the resident hothead hottie, dubbed by his classmates and years before, um, well, classmates and other students. It is the man marked by flame, Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya? That's not his name. Midoriya. Someone in the crowd would yell out, "That's a One Piece reference!" Just some one person would be like, "That's a One Piece reference." It is. It's the man marked by flame, which everyone thinks is Dragon, but I don't think so. Like, I don't think that's Dragon, dog. I think that's someone else. I think it's someone from like Roger's era. I think that's someone from Roger's area who's really old, or like a younger person in like that knows of Roger's era that was kind of like just born then. Yeah, I think it's someone like that. That's my like conclusion. That's my idea, dog. I have 3 minutes. Oh my god. I don't remember the time I started. I'm pissed. So I'm gonna skip into the fight. Okay, I'm sorry. Shoto would be introduced out. The the fight would begin as you would probably think it would be. Um, Shoto, knowing how strong Izuku is, would go just all out at first, just flash freeze heat wave, and then just boom. Izuku would just kind of stand there watching it hit him, just kind of letting it hit him, honestly. The heat of it wouldn't really doesn't bother him at all. He would just heat up his body, like he would engulf himself in fire, not using the wild breathing fire, by the way. Uh, and he would just melt the ice before it hit him. So after that thing would just go past him, he would say, I don't think you really thought that through. No, that's not his voice. Did you really think that through? You do realize I have a heat resistance, right? And I know that you do too, so this thing's gonna last way longer. So, I might as well pull up tricks that I've yet to pull out. So, let's go. And you can have my wild, explosive, burning fist. He would blast forward. Just straight up, just. Shoto would watch, big wave of ice. Izuku would melt through it. I wish I was joking. I'm not. Izuku's going. He did say maximum effort at the beginning of this and used his strongest technique and just flatline. They just right ahead, just straight there. So as he would fly forward, I hope I have 10 more minutes. If not, I'm screwed. Yeah, flying through the air at that point, I think I'm screwed. I will have to re-record this. I'm pissed off now. Um, just melting through it, straight through it, just as he would make contact, it would explode in flame, engulfing both of them. Just Izuku was prepared for this, so after Todoroki would be on the ground, he would be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about your clothes again. If you need any ointment for that hot spot, I got you. Sorry, but thanks for the fight. I appreciate it." Next round would be him and Ida. Ida would get disqualified, so Izuku would win. And then Bakugo would get split bit. I'm joking. Izuku would start to do the like wild breathing fire, but as it would take like like nearly 2 minutes to actually get himself hot enough, like internally, to actually pull out the fire to engulf himself with. So Bakugo would just hit him with a howitzer impact, and Izuku would dodge. Well, he would be able to block himself with this one, but as Bakugo, like as everything would just get destroyed, Izuku would just, and after trying to do that, he would realize like, crap, I was wrong. I can't use it again. And he'd feel himself just heat up, and then it would just disperse. The heat would just quit. And that's because Aizawa would be using his quirk to stop him. He noticed what he was doing, and he wouldn't let him do it. President Mike would say, "We're sorry, Izuku, but you cannot use that technique. Seeing how dangerous it is to yourself, we are not allowing you to do so." Izuku would he can't use his quirk right now. And plus interference, but now given that's by a commentator, so it doesn't really matter. Right. Anyways. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. As he would do that, he would look at Bakugo, who would be flying at him. And within a blink of an eye, a glowing palm would be right in his face. Even though Bakugo would get the hit off and just Izuku would get a hit in with a wild, explosive, burning fist, and just the explosion would cause Izuku kind of pass out. Well, yeah, definitely pass out. He overused his quirk anyways. He's like long time ago he overused it. Not when he first used Wild Burning Fist, but throughout the cavalry battle and his first two fights, he was out because he does have a limit, and his fire, well, he hit his limit, and he would pass out. You could tell on his hand that he punched uh, Bakugo with and Todoroki with. There'd be smoldering like smoke, not really smoke, like it would be smoldering, and it would kind of start to burn and peel and kind of boil. Sorry, I was got really into describing it. And so Bakugo would be the winner. And after complaining, like kind of how he did with Todoroki and Canon, is how he would be complaining at that moment. I want to say this. I might turn this into two separate parts just in case on the time. If it's over an hour, I will be turning it. And possibly, I'll try to record it the entire like video, but if not, I'll be turning it into two separate parts. So yeah, you'll find out on how it is. I'll I'll be putting a note into the video. If that happens in both halves of the video somehow. Or I'll just make a separate, like, shorter video telling you all, like, hey, I'm putting this up into two videos. So, yeah. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end it here for today. I thank you all for watching. I'm sorry for the somber note at the beginning. If that brought down your mood, I'm very sorry. Um, Anyways, thank you all for watching. I truly do appreciate it. I hope to see you all next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening. Please, if you have what if ideas, put them down below. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Once again, you're not alone in this. Um, yeah. Anyways, hope to see you all next time. Roll the dice. Bye-bye.